If thoughts intrude, see them as colored balloons, as separate from you, and let them go. Let them float away. You are present now. You are not controlled by your thoughts. You can acknowledge that they are simply that, thoughts. They proceed from you, but they do not own you. You control them. Recognize that fact and let them go, to be driven away by the wind. Be conscious of the beat of blood within you. Of the rhythm of your breathing. The brush of clothing against your skin. Feel the surface on which you sit and how your body presses into it. Be aware of any scents that you can smell or colors you can see. Notice the detail in the sounds you are hearing. Feel the temperature of the space you are in. Spend some moments simply being aware of all that is within you and around you right now, in this very moment. This is what it is to be mindful.
All right, welcome everyone to Growth School. It's your friend again, Abiodun Mustapha. I hope you're super ready and prepared for Growth School today. Okay, wherever you're joining us from, please can you drop in the comment section your name and where you're connecting from. Okay, your name and where you're connecting from. It's so amazing. I'm so glad because of what I will be sharing with you today. And I'm so glad having you join me again for Growth School. So we'll be doing a lot of amazing, fantastic, and phenomenal things today. Okay, so get ready for a lot of the things that we'll be learning. Okay, so what I really want you to do, okay, while I go back quickly to the sound we're sharing, then I return back in some seconds, is please do well to share the link with your friends. Do well to share with as many you are sharing the same group, probably in a Telegram group or in a WhatsApp group. Share the link also on your Facebook and tell people to come and learn the catalyst of influence, the catalyst of influence. So do well, drop in the comment section. Let me see where you're joining from, and let me see. Let me just know your name and where you're joining us from. And I can tell you there will be a lot of things to learn tonight. There will be a lot of things to learn. So get so ready because your mind is going to shift, your mind is going to grow, your mind is going to travel. Okay, get that from me. Your mind is going to travel and will share a lot of things that are so crucial. So if you are that person that have always wondered, like, oh, all these influential people, how do they go about it? Oh, all these people that come up and do all these things, how do they go about it? Okay, you will learn a lot of the principles, the practices, the secrets that will help you become positively influential. And then also, I will direct you to a couple of things that you may begin to do and you may begin to make use of to really grow your influence. Okay? And you would learn a lot. Oh, Princess Augustine is here again. Wow, Princess, thank you for joining from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Is that South Nigeria? Yeah, I think it's South Nigeria. All right, welcome. Princess has been a loyal follower of Growth School. Welcome, thanks for joining. Okay, so we will be looking at a lot of very important things tonight. Okay, so last week we started sharing on. All right, so last week we started sharing on the sacrifice of influence. And I shared with you that a lot of the times you must understand that influence starts and begins, okay, based on many sacrifices and many prices that people pay to attain it. Okay, so you don't become influential because you feel you merit it. You become influential because you have paid the sacrifice and you have paid the price that is needed for you to attain that level of sacrifice. So just going through my note again, I remember that I shared the meaning of influence, and I said influence has to do with the capacity to affect someone or to affect something. So probably something is going this direction, and you have the ability to affect that person and cause that person to tilt to another direction. You have simply influenced that person. Wow. Emmanuel, welcome. Emmanuel Okeita. Emmanuel is also a loyal follower of Great School. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for joining. Emmanuel is joining from Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria. Please, Emmanuel and all those joining, please do well to share the link on your WhatsApp status, share the link on your Facebook groups, on your WhatsApp groups, on your Facebook platform, and invite people to come join Grow School tonight. I'm telling you, these lessons you'll be learning today, they are so phenomenal. A lot of the things that I will be sharing, you have likely not heard them somewhere else, because I will be talking about certain things. Some may shake your table, some may help your table, some may throw away your tables. All right, so I talked about influence, and I said it came from the Latin word influential. Influential. So it's the flow of ideas. Okay, when your ideas have the ability to affect someone else's frame of thought, or influence someone's decision, or affect someone's action. So you have the ability, it means you are really influential. And I talked about sacrifice, that sacrifice has to do with something sacred. If you are very conversant with the old Nollywood movies, those old Nollywood movies, then for those people that used to watch Nollywood movies, whether it's Yoruba or those English movies, where they will say, "Oh, if you want to make money, you want to have this million, oh yeah, you must have sacrifice." So sometimes maybe to sacrifice cow, sometimes maybe to sacrifice human beings. Okay, I don't support those things. I'm just saying that it's trying to say sacrifice has to be something sacred. So it's about asking yourself, is becoming influential that sacred to you, that you want to pay the sacrifice to get it? Okay. So there, and I also mentioned that there's always a spiritual support. There's always a spiritual enablement behind every influence you see. No one becomes influential without a spiritual support to it. So it's either spiritual in the positive form, maybe God, or spiritual in the negative form, maybe the devil, dark powers, occult, and all of that. So, but there is no one who truly becomes influential without a spiritual enablement to it. Why? How do you think cultists become popular on campus? You think it's ordinary, or you think it's because they can fight or they can? No, there's always a spiritual backing. That's why they always have meetings. That's why they always have gatherings. They have fire that they go around, and those things actually is being enabled, okay, is being backed up by what? By certain spiritual forces. So influence does not happen because you're intelligent. Influence does not happen because you feel you're wise. Influence does not happen because you feel you should be influential. There's always a spiritual all right, don't be scared. Rapture has not happened. We're good. We're good. We're good. Wow, my sister Adeosun Ifeoluwa. Oh, thank you so much for joining. It's nice to see you. Wow, thank you so much, Ifeoluwa, for joining. It's nice to see you after a very long while. Thank you so much. So, Ifeoluwa is an amazing personality. She's into beauty products, so you can reach out to her into beauty product, craft, bags, and all of that. So, Adeosun Ifeoluwa, thank you so much for joining. It's nice to so see you. Yeah. So when I see my people, like I just see them doing things with their brand, I could always direct you to them. So you want to make things, souvenirs, do craft work, bags, and all of that. If Ifeoluwa, Adeosun Ifeoluwa is one sure person you can reach out to. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So like I was saying, I said that every influence that you seem to see, they are backed up by spiritual force and by spiritual empowerment and by spiritual enablement. It could be God or it could be the devil. So I was trying to mention that why do you think cultists are always popular on every campus? Like they know their names, they know their fraternities, they know their names. Why? Because they are backed up by spiritual force. Okay. The same way when you see any community that they are doing so well, beyond just believing that social media publicity and all of that, why do you think a lot of people spend a lot on social media and yet they do not become influential, they don't become known, or they don't get the support that they think that they should get? It's always because they are not backed up spiritually. So every influence you see have a spiritual backup to it. So we mentioned that last week. So I advise that you go to our previous episode of Growth School and you really watch it. Okay. Then we also mentioned that I also asked the question that what are you offering and what are you rendering in exchange for the kind of greatness that you want? Okay, people just believe that, oh, you can become great just by just thinking or by just wishing or by just doing certain things. You must understand that there is always something that is offered before people can get the kind of greatness that they desire. So your desire will not be enough to make you great. There must be something you are willing to offer. And that's when I started giving example of certain sacrifices I had to make, certain sacrifices in terms of the types of things I can drink, the kinds of type of things. I made examples of certain people who are influential. I talked about a musician who is well celebrated, well honored, well known across the globe, who does not eat anything after 7 p.m. Okay, who does not take cold water. You know, someone like you can take cold water anytime. But there are people who, because of the kind of influence, because of the premium they place on their gift, they do not do certain things. So you must understand that influence will always come at a sacrifice. So you will see when people go to the herbalists in those movies, you know, I used to watch a lot of those movies back then, where when someone goes to the herbalist and say, oh, I want to become great, or I want to become the president, or I want to become the governor, or I want to win election. They could tell some of them to sit in a pot with chilled water for days. Why? Because they want to get power. Now, if people who want to get power in the world can go to any extent to pay such sacrifices, some of them may bathe with blood. Okay, so you would understand the fact that influence does not come so cheap. Okay, so you may not need to go to a lot of spiritism and all of those things, but I'm telling you that it will always come at something. Why? Because the world is conditioned with a system of exchange. The world is conditioned with a system of exchange. You have to give out something to get something. You are always giving out something every day if you must stay alive. You are breathing out, okay? You are releasing something because you want to stay alive. You are releasing carbon dioxide. The moment you stop releasing carbon dioxide, then you are preparing to die. So the world is conditioned by exchange. And I also mentioned that never trust people when you ask them for their secret, and the only thing they tell you is na God. Oh. Okay, there's no one who is successful that the only thing that they did is just by knowing God. Okay, they knew God, employed certain principles, and then they accomplished a level of success. So maybe if I go to someone and say, how did you make it? Now, God, though, don't trust such people. Why? Because they are not telling you the truth. It's not just God alone. It's not just God alone. There's something they are doing. Okay, you must always ensure that you push people to that extent. All right, to today, so we shared a lot of things. Just do well to watch our previous episode of Growth School on the sacrifice of influence, and then you get a lot. So today we're talking about the catalyst of influence. The catalyst of influence. And I ended last week's session by saying that if you are born from a poor background, so maybe you were born from homes where maybe you lived in a single room, maybe you were like 4 or 5 children, and you didn't get the best of privilege, you didn't go to the best of school, you didn't get a lot of the exposure that had to do with wealth, riches, influence. Maybe your parents were not influential, your mother was not influential. All they did was going about situation of life, working, eating. If they get something to feed on, they are fine. If you came from such background, then this first point is really for you. If you came from some of the places that, you know, if you grew up in Lagos, maybe someone like me who was born in Lagos, okay, and you were born in certain places in Lagos where you didn't have exposure to a lot of wealthy people, you didn't have exposure to a lot of influential people, you were not born in an environment where people who made impact in the nation, people who were well versed, well known, the area where they lived, or maybe any part, maybe Badon, you lived in anywhere you lived. As long as you were not born in an environment where the wealthiest people lived or reside, this first point is really for you. Okay, and I will point some practical examples that you need to make use of. And the number one catalyst that could make you really influential is a renewed mindset. A renewed mindset. Now, you must understand that if you were not privileged to be born in a wealthy home, you were not privileged to be born by influential parents, you were not privileged to be born into riches, you were not born with a silver spoon or golden spoon. In fact, some were not even born with any spoon. You know, some people say they were not born with any spoon. If you were not privileged to be born with a silver spoon, you were not exposed to connections, high profile people in the early part of your life because your parents didn't know them, it's very important to renew your mind. Why? Because you were already conditioned with a lot of disadvantages. You were already conditioned with a lot of belief system that normalized mediocrity. Why? Maybe you came back home, you asked your parents for certain money, maybe it could be money for excursion or money for things, and you find your parents always complaining about money. Somehow you may not be aware, but your mind has been conditioned to believe that mediocrity is a norm. And for that reason, you may not want to strive and you may not want to labor diligently to attain a great height of excellence. You may not want to drive to get to the point where you choose to be truly influential and truly impactful in your life. Why? Because your environment, the environment you were born, conditioned you that mediocrity and average living is normal. And mediocrity and average living is fine. And this is the reason why you would always find yourself when someone says, "Oh, I bought this particular thing for a particular price." Maybe, for example, someone said, "Oh, I bought this shirt for 7,000." And you're like, hey, it's too costly, oh, it's too expensive, oh, it's still this. You're already disadvantaged and you're not aware that your mind has been conditioned to the place you are from. And this is the reason why when you find someone who is younger than you or someone who is in your age category doing great things, they are doing amazing things, they are pushing for the best things in their life, they are growing so well, they are going in a form whereby things are moving so well in their life, and you begin to assume that, oh, maybe they did this, maybe there's this story. Maybe I should bring this on. There's this conversation that happened, like maybe, for example, you see a Nollywood star, maybe a celebrity. It may not be a Nollywood star, it could be a music minister, it could be a just an influential person. Maybe the person just came up and the person is using a particular ride, or the person is using built a particular house. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind is that, oh, this person slept with slept with a wealthy man to attain that level of riches. Or you saw somebody who is influential, who is getting brand endorsement, and oh, this person slept with the owner of that brand to be able to build this. It is because your mind has not been conditioned that people can move into a level of advantage in their life, and then they can be influential without doing shady things. Or you saw a young guy, or you saw a young person riding a very luxurious car. The first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, that person is a Yahoo boy, or that person is a scam, or that person is doing this, or that person must be doing something wrong, or that person is doing blood money. You are not aware that those people are not the problem, but the condition of your mind has made you feel, okay, that you need to do shady things to be influential. And if you really want to position yourself at a point where you will be influential, you must first have a renewed mind. You must first have a renewed mind. You would renew your mind by, number one, study materials that will rinse your mind. There's a way you can rinse your mind. You can wash your mind from the belief system of your background. You can wash your mind, okay, by gathering knowledge, okay, that will turn your mind around and that will make your mind to be formatted and to become something new. Someone is typing something. Oh, thank you so much, Abiodun Mustapha. Thank you so much. Okay, this is very important that you take note. You take note. So the world is conditioned by a system of exchange. Okay, so back to what I'm saying. I said you must have a renewed mind. You must be willing to work on your mind. Okay, why? Because automatically the experiences you are bringing from where you are born may be what you want to choose to apply in your life. For example, I'm a university lecturer, and for certain reasons, I've seen a couple of things happen in my students. Like I see them act in certain ways. I see some of them, their communication. Some of them are even so fearful to talk with their friends, to speak with their colleagues, to talk to those who they felt came from wealthy homes or privileged homes. They are so limited. Okay, they are fearful. They are intimidated, and for that reason, they are not able to operate at the maximal level of their lives. So, one thing you must take note is you must have a renewed mind. For example, if you have read the Bible and you learned about the story of Esther, you will find out that Esther, if it was about the background Esther came from, Esther was not supposed to be the queen. In fact, she was not supposed to even apply for the pageant session. She was not supposed to apply for that competition. Why? Because her background did not match the position of royalty. Her background did not match the position of royalty. So for that reason, she was not really qualified. What happened? Immediately she heard about the opportunity. She didn't think about her uncle was poor, who was just feeding her by the salary he got as a gate man. Okay, she was already looking ahead at what she could become. And that's why you must understand that you will be attracted to what your mind thinks about. You will be attracted to what your mind thinks about, whether positive or negative. So Esther did not have that privilege. But what happened? She renewed her mind. Her uncle spoke to her about the fact that this competition was coming on, and eventually she applied for it. There was no argument. But you know what a lot of people would do today, most especially if you were born in those kinds of backgrounds I'm talking about. The first thing that will come to your mind is you begin to say, hey, Mike, you say, no, those things are not meant for me. It's all those low, people will use those, it's all those wealthy children. It's all those ones that should apply for it. I'm not the kind that they are looking for there. You would limit your influence. That's why I say you must raise your mind. Raise your mind. Raise your mind by reading materials, okay, that changes your perspective about life. You will find out that most of the people who are born in poems, how do I put this? Let me get the best word. Most of the people who are born in poems, most times they do not get to pursue the greatest things in life. Why? Because they keep looking at the world from the perspective of their background. From the perspective of their background. I remember times in my life that I will leave where I was staying in Oshodi, okay, and I will board transport and go to the island. I remember the day I did that. I just went to the island. I was just going to look at building, not because I wanted to visit anybody, I wanted to do anything serious, just look at the building. Eventually, I had one of my friends was working in bank close to Chevron and all of that. And I got the opportunity to look at the island, saw lakes, all of those things. My mind changed about the perspective of the world. Why? Because if you are born in a poor background, you would believe that everything in the world is regimented in the way you were born, or in the psychology, or in the ideology with what you were born in. So you must be willing to rinse your mind. The same thing, David. You thought David only saw the world by sheep or by grazing. No, he saw something more. There was something great upon him. And that was why when he got into the palace and he started living in the palace, he did not think like a poor man. It was easier for him to become the friend of the prince. Why? Because his ideology has changed from a commoner to royalty. So if you really want to be influential, number one thing is you must be willing to renew your mind. So the first deliverance you need if you want to be influential is the deliverance of your mind. The deliverance of your mind. Influence does not start by posting on social media. And because why? We have lots of people posting things online, but we have many of them posting things that are dumb and foolish. So it's not about, someone will come and teach you, post every day, post at this time, post on TikTok, post on Facebook, post on these, shoot videos. But it's not about that. It's about your own mind. Why? Because if your mind is not renewed and you grow into a level of prominence, it will destroy you. It will destroy you. Someone is saying something. Yes. Older is saying, rinse your mind. Rinse your mind. Very important. Rinse your mind. You've got to rinse your mind. You've got to rinse your mind. Thank you so much for that. Rinse your mind. Very important. Okay? So, and you must understand that if you are born in a poor home or you are born in a place, now let me state this example. If you are born in a family where at every time when you want to do something creative, your parents are always telling you, sit out there, what are you doing? Maybe it's about playing football, maybe it's about showing up in competition. I remember my former church then. Sometimes when they want to do debates or they want to do competitions, they want to do certain things, I used to be there. I never knew what was happening to me. I just knew I'll be there. I'll talk about this topic, talk about that, and we're doing all of that, memory verse, and all those things were helping our brain. Those things were helping us build confidence. So you must understand that you must reprogram your mind. Poverty has a way of programming people's mind into limitation, into mediocrity, into being small, and into thinking small. So you must be willing to reprogram your mind. There are many things that was programmed into you that will either stop you from being influential or limit your growth. There are many things already programmed in your mind. Do you remember that time when you always thought, don't go to the room of these people. If you go there and you eat, you will die. If you do this one, you will die. Don't talk to that person, they are our enemy. And when you go to the campus, you were so scared to talk to people. Some of you, when you go to service here, you saw someone who could help you, but you are scared to talk to them, and you don't know you're limiting the growth that you should have. Making friends with the rich or sharing your process, building comfort in the circle of, people will begin to say, you are now scared of becoming friends with the rich. Why? Because you have segregated in your mind. You say, I can't become friends with that person. Those people, their level is down so high. That's the reason why your influence is limited. You're walking up to an event, you saw somebody who is your age mate or lower than you, who coordinated or organized that event, and you can't think of the fact that, I will volunteer. So because of where you are from, and because of the lack of resources, you always want to base everything to seniority of age. So you see a young lady doing something, because by age you are older than her, you can't submit to volunteer to an event. You can't submit to attend the event. You can't submit to listen to her. And you are not aware that it's because of the programming of where you are born. So you need a renewed mind, Remember when we were small, because of where we were born, because there was not so much, so you would always eat together with your younger ones, and they could give maybe two meat or two fish to 4 people, or 1 fish to 3 people. And you know how people used to use seniority. People used to use seniority to share fish. Because I'm the senior, I'll take the bigger one. Yeah, 2 of you should share the remaining one divide the half into another half, and then you share it, and then you remember. People would now take that poverty mentality into the application of life. So you now believe that because you are older than someone, you can't learn from them. I've learned from a lot of people who are younger than me, and I've been blessed and I've benefited from people who are younger than me. Why? Because of a renewed mind. Because of a renewed mind. You must renew your mind. You must renew your mind. Renew your mind. Okay? It's very important. And it is also a mediocre statement that people make. Like, people will say it is better to get it done than to do it perfect. It's better to get it done than do it perfect. So even though you have the ability, you have the capacity to do something excellently, the mindset of, it's better to get this thing done than to do it perfect will make you just do it anyhow. So it's better to get this thing done than to do it perfect. That's why you show up online and you don't show up as excellent as you should. That's why you go online and you are not so detailed about the combination of your tenses. You are not willing to improve. You say, I've gotten it done. It's the mentality of the poor. And you must understand that if you are born if you are born from a background of poverty, you must go to the school of the rich. If you are born in a place where you didn't have advantages, you were not born into affluence, you were not born into influence, you were not born into wealth, You must be willing to go to the school of the rich. Sometimes it may cost you your skill. Sometimes it may cost you effort. Sometimes it may cost you certain resources, but be willing to learn also from the rich. And that's why I would recommend the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you have not read that book, get that book and read it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It will help you a lot. So you must be willing to renew your mind. Two books I would recommend: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then also get the book Mind Shift, The Power and Secret of Your Mind. Okay? The Power and the Secret of Your Mind. I wrote that book. It's available. Let me see. So this is how you can get the book: bit.ly/order mind shift. It will help your mind. I also shared my story of how I was born in a poor background. I shared my story of how I started deliberately working on my mind and how my mind improved. If it's about where I was born, I should not be coming on this life. But something changed about my life, something changed about my mind, something changed about the people I spoke to. Okay? So let's move on. Let's move on. Now, number two. Number two is evolving. Number one catalyst is a renewed mind. Number two is evolving. 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 Now, if you have studied the story of Esther very well, now when Esther got to the palace and she was assigned a particular, okay, there was the head of the people who took care of the queen, and then she was assigned the particular secret of what she needed to use. You will find out that there was something that Esther chose to embrace. Even though there were many virgins and there were many girls that came from the street, but because they were virgins and they were beautiful, they came in there. You will find out that many of them came with the learning of the street to the palace. Okay, so they didn't listen to what was the ointment, or what was the perfume, or what was the certain way of dressing that the queen, okay, that those who were into royalty or those who were in the palace, the way they behaved, they came with their street knowledge. And when they came into the palace, they believed their street knowledge, their street scent, okay, their street smell was going to be appealing to the king. They did not know that the kings, okay, demand royal atmosphere, royal environment. And Esther was willing to accept that royal knowledge. So she did not say, oh, I was born from a poor home. My uncle didn't have this. This is what we eat in our house. She was willing to take up royal learning. She was willing to take up royal knowledge. Listen, as you begin to grow, okay, as you are coming out from the background you are from, and as you're willing to break the shell of your intimidation, you must be willing to imbibe royal learning. There are certain learnings that the fact that, oh, you saw that thing online, oh, someone made a certain statement, and you just want to imbibe it. You need to find out the ideology of this person who shared this thing. Is it the ideology of the streets or the ideology of the palace? Is it an ideology of the street or the ideology of the palace? The problem why many people are not influential is because they are indoctrinated by the learning of the streets. I don't want to say some of those certain statements. Many people are indoctrinated by the learning of the streets. And for that reason, they cannot labor into royalty. They cannot pay the sacrifice to become kings that will sit on the throne. And they begin to make statements that people will begin to tremble, and okay, they'll begin to follow by it. So the reason why many don't receive the crown of kingship and don't receive the crown of queenship is because they still have the mentality of the streets. So when Esther was leaving the street, she was leaving her uncle's house into the palace. She stick to the knowledge, to the learning of royalty. Who is teaching you? You need to ask that question. Who is teaching you? Are you taught by the street guy? Are you taught by the guy who sang the street song? The person who influences you, the person who controls your decision, is the person, one, okay, who is still tied to the ideology of the street. So you must be willing to evolve. You must be willing to evolve. You want to appear before a king. Do you appear before a king the same way you appear before a peasant? A king gave you an appointment, or you are told to come and speak at an event, you say, oh, because I don't have so much, let me just wear this. And you don't know that you are evolving. Okay, you need to evolve. You need to put off the old. No wonder the Bible says that new wine is put in a new wine skin. You do not put new wine into old wine skin. Okay, you must embrace the learning and the habit of royalty. When you appear before an event, appear well, stay nicely. Don't be the one that you want to distract in the meeting, or you want to distract at an event, or you are the one shouting. You behave yourself. You don't know who is watching you. What happened to Joseph? There was a time Joseph used to, Joseph was a slave under Potiphar. He behaved himself so well that already his master saw that there's a grace upon him. Why? Because he already behaved like a leader. So he was so influential that he was the one controlling all the servants, okay, in the house of the master. Why? Because of comportment, and he was willing to evolve. Joseph did not say, oh, I'm an Hebrew child, and he decided he was not going to learn the language of the Egyptians. He learned the language of the Egyptians. When he got to the prison, okay, he could still communicate with the people. Why? Because he learned the language of the Egyptians. Are you learning the language of the place that you desire to be? So language in this sense may not necessarily be cultural, may not be Spanish, may not be French, may not be Portuguese. Okay, language in this form may be position, okay, may be throne. Do you learn the language of royalty? Are you already learning the language of influence? Okay, when you arrive at the point of influence, how do you want to communicate? How do you want to speak? How do you want to address the kings at that level? Okay, you must be willing to involve. And under this, you must also understand that one catalyst that will help you to become really influential is that you must be deliberate that there is something getting better about you every day. Something may be getting better. It could be your dressing. Something may be getting better. It could be the way you speak. Something may be getting better. It may be your communication. If you want to grow into influence, if you want to become someone that people respect and honor, be willing to improve something about you on a daily basis. That's how you evolve. Now, you will get to the point whereby you would wonder that there's a way you spoke 2 years ago that you are no longer speaking that way. There's a way you express that you would come before a crowd of people and you're already shy, or you're already trying to hide your face. Why? You have worked on it so much that right now you can stand before hundreds and thousands of people and you are confident to speak to them. Listen, I was not like this before. I was not confident. I used to tell people, do you know I used to be a very shy person. They don't believe. Why? Because I have evolved. The problem is, are you choosing to evolve? Listen to this. Your evolving is like, how do I put it? Your evolving is like a tree that is growing. Okay, it's like a tree that is growing. Now, you will notice that at a point when the tree grows, there are certain leaves that begins to shed off. Why? Because those leaves have now dried up. Now, you must understand that evolving is like metamorphosizing. Maybe right now there's something now old, not relevant to the position and to the height you want to get to. Those things will leave you instantly. Why? Because you have now grown. There are things you originally, okay, don't believe, but now you read them. You meditated over them, you would realize that things will change about you. And the kinds of people you will attract, the kinds of people who come to you, the kinds of platforms they invite you to will surprise you. Why? Because you have evolved, because you have moved, because some things have now gone, because you were not at the level you were before. The same way you must understand that you are only paid by the level of the perception of your value. You are paid because of the perception of your value. So as you begin to grow and evolve, and you begin to move into a level of influence, people will begin to pay you at the level of your evolving. So when you say, oh, they are paying that person 150,000 naira to come and speak for 1 hour, and me, they are still paying me just 1,000 naira, you've not evolved. So you should know that influence is in level. You do not jump to become influencer. You grow into it. Because when you grow, you remain on top. But when you jump, you will still come down. So that's why you will see, you put out a flyer, say, oh, my speaking engagement is 200,000 naira, and you see nobody willing to pay. Why? Because they don't perceive your value at that level. Why? You have not chosen to evolve. So number two catalyst is evolve, be willing to grow. This also applies to your gifts. The way you served your gift yesterday, is it the same way you serve it today? The way you spoke last year, is it the same way you're speaking today? Maybe you appear before great people, influential people. You appear before those who are more learned. Do you know how to communicate in a form where they want to invite you into their inner circle? You must be willing to evolve. Okay, you must be willing to evolve. Remember, when David killed the bear and when David killed the lion, nobody rewarded him with anything. But you know what? He was evolving. He was learning. Nobody even knew him. When he killed the bear, when he killed the lion, nobody knew him. But you know what? He did something. He was working on himself. Now, when the time to become influential, to become announced to the whole nation came, and he became announced and he fought Goliath, people did not know that he existed. Why? But he evolved. The bear, the lion, then Goliath. The problem is you want to fight Goliath when you have not killed the lion and the bear. Some people are still struggling with fighting the bear. Some people are still struggling with defeating the bear. Some people, the sheep have been torn apart, even though they were shepherds, and yet they want to confront Goliath. No, life always runs by process. Life, if you want to enjoy life positively and you want to be perpetually influential, you must follow a process. There is the bear, there is the lion, and then you are granted the opportunity to appear before Goliath. If David never had the testimony of the lion and the bear, he would never have been given the platform to confront Goliath. So you must understand that influence happens by evolving. By evolving. What's your testimony from the bush that will guarantee you to confront your Goliath? Ask yourself that question. So in your giftings, you must understand that some of you, if you want to grow influence, you may not receive reward instantly. David was not rewarded even by his father for killing the bear. He was not rewarded for killing the lion. But you know what? He was mightily rewarded for killing Goliath. He got a wife free of charge. He got part of the kingdom free of charge. Okay? And he became well known. He became prominent in the land of Israel. Why? Because he was willing to evolve. He was willing to evolve. Are you still willing to bring your mentality of the past into the present, or you're willing to evolve? Be willing to evolve. Don't say, okay, maybe for example, like I said, I was going to focus on some tables. For example, you were invited to a youth event, maybe a youth event in your church. And because you still saw, these ones are still young people, you did not practice well. You did not pray so well. You did not plan your speaking so well. You did not put your point so perfectly well. You didn't even take time to meditate. Just say, I should be the youth, I will just share it. But you don't understand that that's your beer. You don't understand that that's your beer. The way you begin to do it so well today will determine whether you would qualify to receive the influence that will come before Goliath. Sorry, someone is I want to read something in the comments. Peace Adiola. Thank you so much. Oh, Peace Adiola is sending fire. Thank you so much. Yes, it's fire. So you must do it diligently. There were times when no one knew me. No one was willing to hear me. There were times I would share posts and maybe only 2 people will like it. There were times I would type things and people would be like, what does it say? People would just look away. But you know what? Evolving to learning. Some of you are pushing out posts right now. You know it's impactful. You know it's there. But you have stopped because you said that maybe only one person is liking it. You even changed picture, did everything. Nobody's like, and you have given up. You are not evolving. Do you know there are people who have met me and they'll tell me, oh, I read your post. You are the one who is always sharing posts. Your post is blessing me. And they never liked my post. They didn't like my post. They didn't even comment. They didn't even share that I blessed them. That's to tell you that sometimes the people who invite you to the platforms may not react to you while you are in the bush, while you are sharing those posts, while you're writing those things, while you are pushing out those. So you must be willing to evolve. Number 3, I hope you're getting value. I hope you're getting value. Let me see. Yes. I hope you're getting value. Let me see the yes. Yes. Let me see the yes in the comment section. I'm trying to read my comments. I hope you're getting value. Yes. Let me see the yes in the comment section. I'm trying to read my comments. All right, thank you. I hope you. All right, so number three catalyst of influence. Number 3 catalyst of influence is dedicated and focused learning. Now, this is very important. Dedicated and focused learning. Dedicated and focused learning. Okay, if we can finish tonight, fine. If we can't finish, we'll take it till next week. Okay, the catalyst, I have about 8 here, and I'm just still on number 3. That's how it is. You know, growth school at times, those things just come. Now, dedicated and focused learning. Now, this is very important in the age we are in, because a lot of us right now, or let me say a lot of people right now, they are bringing up this course, this program, that one. You want to be involved in everything. You want to be involved in everything. Thank you, Princess. Now, you want to be involved in everything. They talk about affiliate marketing, you are there. They talk about copywriting, you are there. Talk about digital marketing training, you are there. Talk about UI UX design, you are there. Talk about mobile app, you are there. They talk about sales and marketing, you are there. Talk about this, you are there. But the problem is, you are not structured in your learning, and every unstructured learning becomes unprofitable to the learner. Every unstructured learning becomes unprofitable to the learner. Now, the thing you really need to ask yourself is, what should I learn that is most important to me right now? What should I learn that is most important to me right now? It's not about combining this course. This WhatsApp course is there, you're there. Oh, this webinar is there, you are coming up. This summit is happening, you are there. This conference is there, you are there. You will not grow that way. Okay, you will not grow that way. You should begin to learn based on the current needs right now in your life and your future goal. The current needs and your future goal. So you should ask yourself right now, oh, they introduced to you this program, or they told you this training is happening, they told you this. That's why you will learn a lot of things, but you are not profitable with them. So you must push for progress over activities. If you can see my clothes, that's what I wrote there. Progress over activities. Progress over activities. So you must push for progress over activities. It's not about learning. That's why I said dedicated and focused learning. Dedicated and focused learning. The ability to sit down on a course and not move to Facebook, move to Instagram, try to respond to chat on your WhatsApp. You stay on that course till you finish, is a very great competence that you need for influence. Some people have been learning content. They've registered for Udemy courses, Coursera courses, online courses, webinars, WhatsApp sessions. They've been learning content, content writing, or content or digital marketing for 4 years. They've not mastered it. Why? Because you lack the ability for dedicated and focused learning. You need that competence. The ability to sit down and say, okay, right now I want to learn how to build a successful YouTube channel, okay, and how to build the right content on YouTube. Or you want to learn how you can use AI to advance your video creation tool and all of that. Some people have been learning graphics, they have not mastered it. Why? Because you lack dedicated and focused learning. Choose to stay on one thing until you finish before you move to another. That's the way it goes. Some people learn something right now, they do not choose to practice, they move from that, then they proceed to learn something else. Okay, every learning becomes profitable when you have the ability to practice, when you have the ability to apply them, when you have the ability to put them into something that profits. Okay, very, very important. I remember when I learned about this. I learned HTML and some of those things earlier, and then like I knew about a new tool that you can just go on, push in one or two things. It has a whole lot of component, digital marketing component, SEO component. I just designed a website for a foundation recently, and very amazing experience. So I had that knowledge. Okay, I was just looking for an experience to push it. Now I have another bid to design for another NGO. Why? Dedicated and focused learning. I remember that I went on that platform and I was, doing a lot of things, trying to push out things for myself. Competence. Okay, that's how you build competence. So you learn a lot of things, but you are not competent in any. And there is a part of influence that comes with competence. Okay, there is a part of influence that is built out of what you are competent in. Very important. So you need dedicated and focused learning. It's a catalyst for that. Now, and under that, you must be willing to esteem quality knowledge and exposure. Okay, quality knowledge and exposure over general knowledge. I'll say that again. You must be willing to commit to esteeming quality knowledge and exposure over general knowledge. You don't just say, "Oh, I have a general idea of." You hardly see people who are given projects or they are given opportunities or given offers for having general knowledge. I posted something on Facebook recently. I said, when it pertains to the matter of your life, okay, make sure you do not trust high-level knowledge. High-level knowledge, like general knowledge, you must go for depth. So you must esteem quality knowledge. Now, when you're choosing to learn from someone, learn quality knowledge. You must invest in things that have to do with the quality of knowledge and then the value you can build out of it and the exposure that it gives to your mind. Don't just say, "Oh, quality knowledge, I just want to be knowledgeable," or you just want to come out and say, "Oh, I got a certificate in this." It's not enough to have certificate. Shey you sabi. Shey you sabi. Do you know how to do it? So quality knowledge, very important. Now, the next thing is you must become allergic to distractions to your growth. You must become allergic to the distractions of your growth. So you're willing to grow, you're willing to become better, you're willing to improve, and there are certain distractions coming. Put them away. Sometimes it may be putting off your phone, just staying there and learning, practicing, going to the sites, going to the platforms, trying to build all of those things. You must be willing to invest in your growth. Dedicated knowledge, very important. Very, very, very important. You must be willing to commit to dedicated and focused learning. Thirdly, I want to say under that your influence is proportional to the level of your knowledge. You are as influential as the level of your knowledge. Your influence is directly proportional. If you do mathematics, and there is this word called directly proportional. Directly proportional means when you say A is directly proportional to B, it means for every B, there is an A. So for every increase of B, there will be an increase of A. I'm teaching some people mathematics now. So A is directly proportional to B. So when you want to use equals to, you say A equals K constant B. So for every increase of B, A increases. For every decrease of B, A decreases. So I'm saying your influence is directly proportional to the level of your knowledge. Okay, the more knowledgeable you are, the more aware you are, the more informed you are, the more idea that you seem to have, the more ideas you seem to have, the more depth you build, the better you become. Okay? The more depth you build, the better you become. The more depth you build, the better you become. The more depth you build, the more influential you get. Very important. So people do not trust you when you are ignorant. People do not trust you, okay? Let me say majority of people do not trust you when you are ignorant. So you must build a depth of knowledge if you must become influential. You know, the Bible says something about Daniel, that Daniel, okay, that the vision was revealed unto Daniel when he prayed in the vision of the night. The secret was revealed unto Daniel. And what happened? When Daniel understood that vision, and he appeared before the Nebuchadnezzar, he could appear confidently. And what happened? His influence grew. He became appointed amidst presidents. There were three major presidents after the king, and Daniel became the best amidst all of them. He was the most preferred. Why? Because of knowledge. Ask yourself, what do you know that should make people listen to you? That's something about influence. What do you know that should make people listen to you? The reason why you are here is because there is someone who knows something, who is at the other end communicating something to you. And you can see how valuable it is, how sweet it is, how nice it is. And I'm not communicating it just from random talking because I want to share. No. Daniel understood the vision. He understood the vision. He appeared before the king and he became very influential. Joseph knew by grace the interpretation of the dream before Pharaoh. And what happened? He became the second in command. So ask yourself, what do you know? You may need to sit down tonight. Okay, I gave an assignment last week. I'm giving this assignment right now. Sit down tonight. Okay, or maybe this afternoon if you're in America, or tonight or this morning, wherever you are. Sit down and highlight all the things that you know and you are so sure about. What are all the things you know? You know things about fashion, you know things about communication, you know things about public speaking, you know things about this, you know things about, write them out. Okay, just write them out. Write them out. Now, when you are done writing them out, begin to look out for platforms where you can begin to communicate them. Okay, platforms where you can begin to communicate them. So begin to write out the things that you know. For example, when it's personal development, I know. Things about tech, I know. Things about startups, I know. Okay, things about entrepreneurship, I know. All right, what are the things that you know? Strategy, I know. You know, you must be able to identify the things that you know. Like 20, this is, I think, since 2017. People always say, oh, purpose coach, purpose coach, purpose coach. Why? Because of the depth of knowledge I knew about life purpose. Even now that I don't always love people always calling me that purpose coach, because I prefer to be called a personal development expert. But people will keep inviting me to come and teach about purpose. Why? Because there is that knowledge, that experience, and that exposure. Very important. So what are the things you know that you have known by experience, that you have known by education, and that you have known by exposure? By experience, by education, and by exposure. What are those things you have learned that you know by experience, by education, and by exposure? Okay, so Daniel grew to a point of influence because he had knowledge. Joseph grew to a point of influence because he had knowledge. Jesus, your Jesus, if you're a Christian, you believe in Jesus. Your Jesus, my Jesus, it grew in influence also because of knowledge. Not just because of anointing, and not just because of prayer. It grew in influence because of knowledge. He could communicate to people, and people would sit for 3 days and they would be tired. What was he telling them? That he knew something. There was something he communicated. So until you know something, you build the depth of knowledge in that thing, and you begin to communicate it, people would not perceive you as valuable to them. Okay, you would not be able to influence people. You will not be able to change narratives. You will not be able to change people's perspective. Okay, you must be willing to build knowledge. Wow, this one I would have really shaken a lot of table, but because of time, we've done 1 hour 6 minutes, about 6 minutes today. Okay, and I don't want us to go too long. So you must be willing to build dedicated and focused learning. Master those things. Don't try to fake it. You see people they take a course online, and after taking that course, instantly they want to open a WhatsApp group, Telegram group, they want to start teaching it without mastering it, without even getting value out of it, without, you understand, without having to, okay, build result out of it. Very important. So let's go over what we've shared today. The catalyst of influence. God willing, next week we'll take the catalyst of influence part two. Catalyst of influence part two. Okay, so we talked about renewed mind. So if you don't have the privilege to be born by influential parents, parents who are at the point of leadership, rich parents, wealthy parents, you need to renew your mind. That's the starting point. Renew your mind. And I recommended 2 books: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Mind Shift. Okay, bit.ly/order Mind Shift. Just go ahead, get a copy of that book. In fact, one of my friends from in the United States of America got a copy of the book and also recommended it for people. Recommended the book for people. That's how amazing this book is. It's just, I think, 5 chapters, and you can sit down at one sitting to read, digest. I'm telling you, it's so interesting to read that you would not want to stand up until you are done. Even if you are pressed, even if you are pressed, I don't know, you would likely want to finish that book before you go ease yourself. It's that interesting, and I can tell you that this is a very amazing book that you want to read. I don't know if I have a picture. Please hold on a sec. Let me check this out. Let me check this out so I can show you what the book is like. Um, okay. Hold on a sec. Let me just show you what the book is like. So you get a copy of Mind Shift. So, and the good thing is it's available as soft copy. It's available as soft copy, which you can just easily read. It's available as soft copy. So all this, I want to show you something. Okay. Where are you? This is the book, Mind Shift, The Untold Secrets and Power of Your Mind. The Untold Secrets and Power of Your Mind. So let me show you the chapters. So you're going to learn where is your mind, the stakeholders who care about your mind, the source of your life, how to stop losing things, and 4 things you must do to your mind daily. Very, very amazing and very, very great book to read. Okay? So that's it. So you should get a copy of that book. Other Mind Shift is very, very affordable. And immediately you pay, you get a copy instantly, you begin to read. Okay, I think I also added some bonuses to those who got a copy of that book. So it's available as just ebook at the moment, just ebook. Maybe later on I'll get to publish on Amazon for paperback and the likes. But for now, it's available as ebook, and you can get a copy right now. Okay, so renewed mind. I talked about the fact that renewed mind, you need to renew your mind. Number 2, I talked about evolving, the fact that you need to grow. You need to grow. Sometimes you need to outgrow your present moment. Outgrow your present moment. Don't get used to where you're from. When you get into a setting, can you walk in there with confidence? Can you speak with people who Okay, can you speak with people who you know have more experience than you, and they are willing to invite you into their circle? Why? Because you have evolved. You have evolved. Don't let people who saw you yesterday see you as the same person today. You must have grown beyond what you were yesterday. You must have grown. So you must evolve. And then thirdly, I talked about dedicated and focused learning. Dedicated and focused learning. Dedicated and focused learning. Very, very, very important. Dedicated and focused learning. So the ability to stay so focused until you have mastered a particular skill. The ability to stay focused until you have mastered a particular skill is very, very, very essential. The ability to stay focused until you have mastered a particular skill. This is so, so critical. Don't do away with it. You must be able to master a skill that can change your life, that can so help you, and that can build you into something amazing. Okay, so stay focused, avoid distraction, be allergic. That's the word. Be allergic to distractions. Be allergic to distraction, regardless of what it is. Okay, so number four, which I would have spoken about, is minimize the entertainment. Minimize the entertainment. Maybe I speak briefly on this and then we continue from there next week in growth school next week. Okay, minimize entertainment. Now, if you want to be influential, you need to find out from those who are applauded, those who get a lot of awards, who you watch their movies, you follow them, you see all the things they do. One thing you'll find out about them is they hardly have the time to read the news that you read about them. They hardly have the time. Let me tell you why. The reason why they hardly have the time is they are busy trying to make another news. They are busy trying to make another news. So they don't have time watching the news. So they keep making the news and you are consumed by following what they are doing. This celebrity star, this has happened now. This lady, this and that. They are so busy that they don't have time watching the news that they make. Why? Because they want to make another one. Now, many a time they are so busy, okay, that they don't have time celebrating their awards. Why? Because they are developing themselves to win another one. So minimize entertainment. And I posted something recently that you must understand that the stakeholders who are trying to keep you ignorant, limited, average, and uninfluential, they are making more investment into what is distracting you, that is tagged entertainment, than the things that can empower you. I want to give you an assignment. Go and make your research. Make your research. How much goes into entertainment, reality shows, reality programs? Just find out the budget. Find out how much is invested there. And then find out how much is invested into entrepreneurship and education. Find out how much is invested in entertainment, all those reality shows, reality programs. Find out how much goes there and how much people spend, okay, to watch those things. And find out how much goes into education and entrepreneurship. Then you understand that the masters who rule most of the nations, they are more committed to the things that distract you and disempower you than the things that empower you for royalty and the things that empower you for greatness. And like I said, these masters know that the more educated people are, okay, the more irrelevant they become. The more irrelevant they become. So minimize entertainment. You must be willing to minimize. All right. Emmanuel Oketa says entertainment has a higher investment. Correct. Yes, that's the truth. That's the truth. Let me tell you how you can know. One metric you can use. How much does the winner of BB Nigeria get? How much? Then how much does the best graduating student of a university get? Do the maths. Compare it. So I'm just trying to tell you that you must be deliberate about your own life. You must be willing to invest into empowering yourself. And one of the things you have to do is to minimize entertainment. Sometimes a latest movie could be released, people make all the buzz about it and all of that. Just decide that I want to be so disciplined not to go ahead and watch it. You are, you are becoming empowered by doing so. Why? Because you are beginning to kill your own indiscipline. You are beginning to kill your own societal influence factor. You are killing it. And what happens? You become more powerful. You become more enabled, okay, to focus on your own agenda. Check it out. The person who wins ultimate search, how much does that person get? And the best graduating students of a university or campus, how much do they get? Emmanuel has done the math, said 70 million to 1 million. Look at it. That's it. Can you imagine? 70 million naira to 1 million. In fact, some overall best students don't get up to 1 million. In fact, some of them don't get up to 100,000 naira. Some of them don't get up to 100,000 naira. So that's how you will know. And that's the reason why in today's world, we have a lot of young people who are not empowered in their mind and they cannot make fluent, okay, contribution. They cannot converse or communicate, okay, in an intelligent manner. Why? Because they have been consumed by entertainment. And you know those tax masters, those stakeholders who are after them, they have caught them. They have caught them. When you see people make certain arguments, okay, maybe people argue about a lot of things. Tell them to bring up statistics or to say the basis for their findings. They cannot. Why? Because their mind have been made lazy. That's what a lot of entertainment does to you. It makes your mind become lazy. It lazens your brain. It keeps your brain to sleep. And when it's time to communicate to things that can change your life, that can empower you, that can make you better, when you need to begin to say things, or maybe I should give you a sample. I think I'm even going too far. Go and look at threads. Go and look at people's comments on Twitter. Then you will know how intelligent a lot of young Africans are. You'll know how intelligent and half-witted lots of young Africans are. Just see people tweet on Twitter, see people do a lot of things. You would understand what I'm saying. So too much of entertainment weakens your mind. So you need minimized entertainment if you want to be influential. Minimize entertainment if you want to be influential. So when you go on TikTok, when people go on TikTok, so what I think I was speaking to my student, how I keep myself disciplined from TikTok. Like I just go there, do what I have to do, and then I uninstall. When I want to push content again, I install, push out content, put it. I'm not saying you have to do it. You know, it was recently my wife was trying to tell me that I can just put it on sleep or deep sleep and all of that. But that's what I do. You know, my mind is so important to me that I have to keep it sane. I have to keep it at the premium. So minimize entertainment is very, very important. Minimize entertainment. So there would be more investment. And take note, there would always be more investment in the things that will distract you than in the things that will empower you. There would always be more investment in the things that will distract you from your goal, distract you from your throne, distract you from your greatness than the things that will empower you. So I'll take it again. We have treated 4, and I'll start from the 4 in the catalyst of influence part 2. Please do well to invite your friends. Share this video with your friend. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe right now and turn off the notification channel. Like this video, share with your friends, share with as many people that you can. Next week, we are going to take part 2 of this. You know, I've taken 4, or let me say 3.5. So we'll take the remaining 4.5 next week. Okay? So one more thing before I go. Recently, I launched my maiden Udemy course. I want to show you. I launched my maiden Udemy course. Okay, I launched my maiden Udemy course. Where are you? Okay, so here we have it. I launched my maiden Udemy course called Making Money Online in 2023. Making Money Online in 2023, strategies and opportunities. So you'll see there the step-by-step guide to building a profitable online business in 2023. So you can go on Udemy, just search for the course, Making Money Online in 2023, and you will see a lot of these. I talked about the online business models, e-commerce, digital marketing, content creation, affiliate marketing, online business models, that's online coaching and virtual. I talked about how you can market and sell your online product, how you can manage your online product, things you should put in place so that you don't stay out of business. So I concluded the course, and I also put a bonus course called How to Turn Your Knowledge into Passive Income. You can just go on Udemy. You can go on Udemy and check the course. But for those online, Udemy actually gave a discount. Udemy gave a discount for all those who look at the course. So I will drop the link here. I'll drop the link. I've dropped the link already on the chat comment section, so you can check it out. Enroll for the course. It's very cheap. I think in Naira it's maybe about 2,800 or 2,500. I don't know. Okay. Normally I place the course for about 4,500, but Udemy gave a discount for the course. So you can just do well to check out the course, Making Money Online in 2023, Strategies and Opportunity. So it's just available at 2,800 naira only. So check it out and take the course. So you can also encourage your friends to take it. Okay. All right. So take note of that. I think I have some questions here. I have some questions. Yeah. I have some questions. Yeah. Okay. Manuel is asking, um, sir, how about those that watch movies to learn how to converse, lines to use when discussing with certain breeds of people? Is this okay, sir? Okay, yeah, movies are good, but not all movies. Okay, movies are good, but not all movies. Some movies can empower you, some movies can make you better, some movies can allow you get a lot of vocabularies. But you have to be careful when you begin to look at the ratings of some of these movies. So when some of them are rated 18, where they tell you they have nudity, sexual violence, or sex is involved, or violence and all of that are involved, you may just want to stay off them. Okay, because they could be avoided. You necessarily don't need to watch that movie to learn. There are other places you can learn vocabularies. Go on YouTube, listen to interviews. From interviews, you will learn a lot of vocabularies. From TED Talks, you will learn a lot of vocabularies. From podcasts, okay, podcast sessions, you learn a lot of vocabularies. From researches, you learn a lot of vocabularies. Movies are good, but make sure those movies are based on recommendation from people that you trust, those you know are positive thinkers, those you know want to be really influential and the likes. So very, very important. So you can watch movies when they are recommended and you understand the fact that this will really help you. But don't get so addicted to it. So people are so addicted to movies that they cannot sleep except they watch movies. So which is not so good. Okay, because it weakens your mind. Sometimes what you sleep with will determine the meditations of your mind. What you sleep with will determine the meditation of your mind. Emmanuel is also saying they listen to reality so as to know how to talk and comport when they get in similar situations. Is that okay? Reality shows. Now you need to find out what's the essence and what's behind the minds of the people who organize those events. So some of these events are basically placed there to market products, to market things, to market some of those things. You should ask yourself, why are you really going there? Do you want to be like them? Do you want to be mentored by them? Are they your role model? So, for example, someone who you can decide to listen to the voice. Maybe you have something to do with music. you have something to do with learning certain things, music. So you could listen to things like The Voice. Okay, look for the essence of a lot of those reality programs before you commit yourself to it, because they could be addictive and you'll find yourself trying to shield behind someone when you should come out to find yourself. So the problem is a lot of people who follow or watch those reality programs are still battling with identity crisis. So to cover up for it, they then subscribe to reality programs. So I hope that is clear, Emmanuel. So I hope that is clear. Emmanuel, I hope that makes sense. So, like I said, two things I've mentioned. Get the Udemy course. Just go on udemy.com and then search for Making Money Online in 2023 and then enroll for the course. It's so cheap. It's less than 3,000 naira. It's less than 3,000 naira. And you will learn a lot. I went through a lot of sites you can begin to engage for affiliate marketing, for e-commerce. I talked about certain things you can do for digital marketing, how you can make use of YouTube ads, Google ads, and all of that. So just go get the course. And it's not a lengthy course. Everything in the course is less than 2 hours. So you can just sit down, be dedicated, focused, and then learn. And you get a lot of value. And from what I learned also, I think Udemy would also be giving you a certificate for taking that course. All right. That's it. Okay, Emmanuel is saying thank you for tonight. So thank you too. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm blessed. So blessed. So that's the Udemy course. I'm blessed and so blessed to have you here tonight. I'm blessed and so blessed. I'm blessed and so blessed. So please do well to subscribe to this channel. Encourage your friends to subscribe. Tell them to subscribe. Tell them to subscribe to the course. So the Catalyst of Influence, Part 1. So till we meet again, we'll see next week. I wish you all the best. And I say keep making the rest of your life the best of your life. I leave you in the hands of Moses Blaze.
Hallelujah. The systems of the world. Yes, I totally rely on your word. No matter what may come away, no matter what I face, it's you I live for. I live above the systems of the world. I totally rely on your word. No matter what may come away, no matter what I face, it's you I live for. We live for you alone in a world. In a world of so many voices, Lord, I will trust in your precious word. I believe in your name. In a world where everyone's talking. In a world where everyone's talking, Lord, I you I